Welcome back to Book Babble. I am your host, John Hartness. With me, as always, is Melissa McArthur, Associate Editor of Falstaff Books. And joining us tonight, live to tape at Atomicon 2019, I know, easy for me to say, is Jess Elliott, who I met a whopping 10 minutes ago. So, hi Jess, welcome.
Hello. Hi Jess. Hi.
So since I met you 10 minutes ago, although I did auction off a stack of your books today at the charity auction because I was playing Gray Reinhardt, only a taller, wider, hairier, younger, and more profane Gray Reinhardt. Hi Gray, I love you, buddy. So tell us a little bit about what you write. What do you write? What do you do?
Well, I've got two different things going on.
All right.
I started writing a book called Monkey Mind. This is about an albino woman who opens a meditation retreat in north central Florida, and she's kind of having a midlife crisis. So she thinks, okay, well, soft opening weekend, it should be easy, but everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong, including a murder or two. So she's trying to keep this whole finding inner peace theme going while they're taking away the body, and there's an investigation, and she has to stay there because all the guests are being interviewed and whatnot. So it's funny, it's set in Florida, it's kind of got some Buddhist overtones, but basically my idea was like everybody has to cope with crap, and so this is like she gets to cope with more than the ordinary person does in a weekend. So it's essentially funny. It's very funny.
Okay. Now the subtitle of this is A Haint Blue Adventure.
Yes.
So let's talk about Haint Blue.
Yes.
Because it is possible that there are people watching this that aren't Southern.
Right.
I occasionally get a Yankee to watch one of these videos. Mm-hmm. So hey, Melissa, where are you from?
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
What's a haint?
It's a mean spirit.
You got haints in the holler?
I don't think so.
Okay, not in your holler anyway.
No.
So Jess, what's haint blue?
Haint blue is a color spectrum that goes kind of slatey blue to a sort of periwinkle. It can kind of go into vague lavender, but it is a sort of narrow margin. I believe Sherwin-Williams does actually carry a haint blue. And I just thought it was the coolest name for a character. So she is Polish-Russian of descent, but she had this impossibly long name, and when she was born in the hospital, the nurses couldn't pronounce her name, so they just said, well, she looks like a haint because she was an albino, and her name became Haint Blue. So
okay.
And everybody knows her as Haint Blue, even though Helena Blonichova or something is on her paperwork.
Cool.
So.
All right. Cool. Well, what else you got for us?
Well, this is the fun part. People ask me, well, why do I write ghost stories if I'm a Buddhist? Like, what's the deal with that? That I've got like the fun spiritual sort of bent, but then I also do the spooky stuff. And I have to say that it's kind of part of the spiritual quest, actually. In my childhood, Scooby-Doo was my favorite cartoon.
I love Scooby-Doo.
I know, I love Scooby-Doo. I read the Nancy Drew, the Hardy Boys, the Alfred Hitchcock, and the Three Investigators. And I was always really disappointed when, of course, it wasn't the ghost, because
What was some dude?
they led you to believe it was a ghost, and then you got let down with it was some dude in a costume, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of had my parents were atheists, actually, and so I was sort of free to experiment because they didn't believe in anything. And I thought, okay, everybody else is telling me about God, and I don't feel God in my life, but if I could prove that ghosts exist, that's like the foundation of spiritualism, because if ghosts prove that you live after death, then maybe there is really the good and evil, and if there's good and evil, then there's some driving force behind it, and eventually I'll find it. I just have to. So it, in a weird way,
deep thinking.
In a weird way, it's my thing.
That may officially be too deep for this show.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Somebody's got to think.
You were thinking this as a kid?
Yeah, actually.
That's really cool.
That's deeper than anything I think as an adult.
I was an only child, and so, I mean, I don't get too deep, but my parents were alcoholics, and so, like, lying in bed every night of my childhood going, dear God, why am I trapped in this house with these people? And getting no answer, because night after night I was still in that same room, in the same house, in the same situation, right? God's not listening to me. So that's where it is.
All right.
So, but anyway, a lot of people think that ghost stories are just some light, frivolous thing, but you have Charles Dickens, right? Never gone out of print. Everybody loves Christmas Carol, right? Edith Horton actually wrote 2 collections of ghost stories, and she believed in ghosts, and actually she's haunting her own house at this point.
I kind of want to read that.
There was that late Victorian Edwardian tradition of telling ghost stories in the fireplace at Christmas time.
Right.
And a lot of those stories disappeared for 100 years, but they're getting found and they're getting published again.
So
and I
great.
love them. So even though some of my stories are modern but I'm drawing on that tradition of the slow, creepy, the slow
Kind of
build.
like the turn of the screw kind of?
Yes!
Yeah?
Yes!
Awesome.
Yes!
I love it.
In fact, I have an answer for that with your what are you reading lately? Because I
Well, all right. Let's segue right into that. What are you reading?
I highly recommend this Ruth Ware, Turn of the Key. She's taken the traditional turn of the screw story, but she's put it in modern times in a house that's completely electronic, the kind of thing where you say,
Ooh.
refrigerator, I need potatoes. Shall we put it on the list?
Smart
Where-
houses creep me out.
Yes, yes. So from the get-go, you just know that that's going to go wrong. You just know that the house is going to turn against her. And so it's basically, the same kids, and there's the gardener, and the whole thing seems just
great.
remarkably close to the turn of the screw, but it's very modern. And yet they're out in the country. There's even a poison garden.
Oh, I'm going to have to read
So,
this.
of course, the kids aren't allowed to
Good,
go
you
in
read
the
it and let me
poison
know.
garden.
Okay.
And it is so good. It is not a reboot of Turn of the Screw, but it's an
Inspired
homage.
by.
It's a fantastic homage.
Oh,
And
yay.
if you can get the recorded version, I wish I could remember her last name, Imogen somebody. Her
Yeah.
voice. You just so relate to this poor woman trapped in this enormous house that's
Is it on
turning
Audible?
against her. Yes.
Excellent.
And I have a credit.
Yes, yes. Fantastic.
All right, so that's Turn of the Key
Yes, by Ruth Ware,
Ruth Ware.
W-A-R-E. Yep.
All right. Now, if people want to find out more about you, where can they do that?
I have a website, Hedonistic Hound Press. I'm also on Facebook as Hedonistic Hound Press. My books are available on Amazon, and I'm published as J. Elliott, and that's with 2 L's and 2 T's. I don't know why, but everybody always wants to drop the last T, but it's 2
Well,
L's, 2
because
T's.
T.S. Eliot only
But
had.
he's 1 L, I think, and 1
Yeah.
T.
He's
So-
got it. He put the
but
T at the beginning.
I've been in the newspaper, I've been in it, and it's always they drop the last T. So 2 L's, 2 T's, 2 and 2.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us here at
Thank
Atomicon.
you.
And we'll see y'all next time, and we're going to talk about more books.
Thanks so much.